For those who haven't seen, Faithful walks in quietly, steadily, pack saddle sitting square on his back. Samuel walks beside him, hand resting on Faithful's neck. Esther walks on Faithful's other side. All three settle together. Faithful stands. Samuel sits cross-legged against his leg. Esther sits beside Samuel. I am Faithful, the donkey. I follow Jesus. Faithful looks at the camera, quiet, ready. Before I tell you what happened with Thomas, I need to tell you something about me. He sits down carefully, the way a donkey does when something really matters. I carry loads for a living, heavy ones, long roads, early mornings and late nights. I don't complain because carrying things for the people I love is my purpose, my joy. But do you know what is heavier than any physical load I have ever carried on this back of mine? He pauses. Doubt. Questions that circle and never land. Wanting to believe something with everything you have and being just too scared to in case it turns out not to be true. Samuel looks up at Faithful. He knows Faithful is setting something up. He listens. Thomas had that weight on him for 1 whole week. 7 days of carrying the heaviest kind of load. And I understand Thomas. I really do. Me too. Faithful looks at Samuel, waits, picking at the ground in front of him. Sometimes I want to believe that everything is going to be okay. And it's hard, especially when things feel not okay. Puts her arm around Samuel without a word. Faithful nods. 1 week after the disciples saw Jesus in that room, Thomas was with them. Everyone together, same room. And then Jesus was there again. He looked straight at Thomas, not with disappointment, not with frustration, with complete, patient, personal love. And he said, Faithful speaks every word slowly, clearly, like each one is precious. Put your finger here. See my hands. Reach out your hand and touch my side. Stop doubting and believe. Stillness. Even the air seems to hold still. He came back just for Thomas? He came back just for Thomas. He knew Thomas needed to see. He knew. He always knows what each person needs. Samuel didn't have to hide his doubts, Samuel. He said them out loud. And Jesus met him right there in the middle of the doubt and said, Here, look, touch, believe. Faithful continues, voice full of wonder. Thomas looked at those hands, at Jesus, alive, warm, absolutely real, standing right in front of him. And every heavy question fell away, like a load being lifted from a donkey's back. Faithful closes his eyes for a moment, understanding this in his bones. He said 8 words, just 8, but they are 8 of the greatest words in the whole Bible. My Lord and my God. Faithful opens his eyes and walks slowly toward the camera. And then Jesus said something for everyone who wasn't in that room, for everyone who would come after, for you. Blessed are those who have not seen and yet have believed. Faithful stops right in front of the camera. That is you, friends. You weren't there. You haven't touched those hands. But if you believe, Jesus calls you blessed. He lets that sit. I am a young donkey who carries heavy loads, but the best load I ever put down was doubt. Samuel stands up beside Faithful. Esther stands on the other side. You don't have to have all the answers. Just be like Thomas was. Jesus can work with honest. He meets us right where we are. Faithful straightens up, pack saddle square, energy returning. Next time, beach, Sunrise, fish, 153 of them. And the most important question Jesus ever asked one man, and the most important answer that man ever gave. And Peter jumping in the water, soaking wet, running up the beach. Episode 6, Hee-haw! Still terrible. One day I'll get it. I am Faithful, the donkey. I follow Jesus. How about you?